We're live. There you go.
Look at us.
And it looks like we got somebody here. Can you see that comment, Pat?
I cannot, but like I said, I'm kind of afraid to touch. If I hit chat, what's going to happen? Survey says. Oh,
I see Bent Rossum. So, hey, welcome, man. Thanks for joining us.
I guess I can see those. I just won't be able to see you, but that's not the end of the world, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
You need your eye candy for the evening.
Right.
So, Pat, PJ, whoever that spiky hair guy is down. You're in near Atlanta.
I'm south of Atlanta. Yes, I am very close to the epicenter of The Walking Dead.
And
If there's true, which I was going to mention that, but if there's really true Walking Dead fans, they won't be on yet because to my left, it's still on the television for tonight's new episode. So I have to save that for later.
Gotcha. And I'm still back in wonderful Pennsylvania, so. But you've been down there for a little bit, so we thought we'd get online, catch up. But, we like to catch up every once in a while. And then we did this once before where it just was like, all right, let's get together, catch up, talk about stuff, and, open that up to anybody else that wants to join us. There's a comment there from a very lovely lady.
I have to laugh because as we're sitting here, I got a notification that John Mayer just started a live stream on Instagram. So now between The Walking Dead and John Mayer, we'll just be talking to your wife and
they're not going to have any audiences now.
And Bent, right? Right.
They're not going to have any audience at all.
That's right. We've pulled the plug on the drain and we've siphoned everyone right here. So Ben, I was going to ask Bent Rossum what part of the world he is from or in currently.
He posted that right before we went live, so I don't know if he posted it. And
then saw John Mayer went live, and he's out.
Right. So I was going to tell you, we were talking just briefly before we started here. So we played this morning, and we did that one song that has that kind of almost Southern rock country feel to it. And I kicked on, what's that pedal of yours? I took it off the shelf. It's one of yours. And put it on the board. The one overdrive pedal.
The Soul Driven?
Yeah. Is that the really shiny one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty sure. I took a picture of my board.
Yeah, it's the Soul Driven.
Okay. Man, I like that. It, what's that? Exotic Effects?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It has a really nice. I lost your picture there, bud.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Let's see what happened here. I tried to switch back from the comments. Hold on one moment.
You can still hear me?
I can still hear you. Yeah. What happened here? Where'd I go?
That Soul Driven has a nice. There you are. It almost compresses the sound.
Right.
So it's almost like kicking on an overdrive pedal with a compressor on it. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure maybe that's what it's intended to do. But it does. Like for that song, playing the telly on the bridge pickup, kicking from the Barber Electronics direct drive to that, I just thought it sounded really good. I really liked it. For like any like little lead lines and for the, just to have that kind of a more driven sound, but the kind of compression it put on it for playing the chords and stuff. I don't know. That's really cool.
Yeah, it is nice. It's shiny too.
It is very shiny. It is that. So that was, I think, my tone adventure for today was something new. But you've been using the oh my gosh, DSL.
Oh yeah.
DSL.
That tremolo is really nice. Now that I've played one with has a tap, look out.
Right.
But it sounds really good.
We've been saying that. It's. I didn't. I literally thought there's that Cesar Diaz again.
Right.
Sounding good from the other side of the stage when we used it last week, and found out later.
Until you heard that it was in near perfect time, and you're
right?
Like,
Until I heard it was in time, and then I was like, "Wow, that's not that's not the thing." So
yeah, it would be interesting to see what Caesar would be building now if he were actually still with us, but so we don't know.
Right. So what else? We're kind of wasting time here, waiting to see if anybody joins and starts chatting with us. Should we show the newest arrivals?
Yeah.
Actually, there was one other thing that came, and that's the little Line 6 module for that pedal.
Oh, okay.
The little tremolo module that you pull the rotary one out and put that one.
Right.
I forgot about that. That's upstairs. So,
did I know we did that? It's a great idea. I don't remember.
I think I sent you a screenshot when I bought it.
That's cool. We can see how hard it is to swap them out.
Right. I think it was like $30. And it's just the tremolo module, but I figured, well,
right.
We have the tremolo module, we have the pedal, we have the Leslie module. I think we did pretty good on the pedal when we bought it, so we could probably put the pedal with both modules on reverb for a decent price, and maybe that would make it more. Once we review them, that would make it more. What's the word I'm looking for?
Desirable.
Desirable. Thank you. Yes, that is it. Wow, late night.
Or depending on what the next thing we modulate to, maybe just keep hanging on to it.
Right. So then we get the, oh, geez. At some point, some of these have to sell.
All right.
If I switch my camera real quick, just for a second. There it is. It's the new lineup. So really, we should take this one out and put these two in. So this is the Kangra. No, this is the Monument. And that's the Earthquakers Devices Hummingbird, which, Pat, I think you're really going to like that one. Actually, I think you're going to really like both of them, especially because the Monument has this little switch right here that goes between harmonic and standard.
Okay.
And so I really am digging that harmonic sound on this one. Kind of in that cross between like a tremolo and a univibe almost, I think. And then tap tempo, soft switch, shapes, rate, division, volume, and depth. And then the Hummingbird, I can't tell you just from playing it what the mode button does, but it's almost like it's 3 different speeds.
Okay.
So like it's almost like when you go from one position to the other one, it like doubles the speed and then maybe halves the speed. Does that make sense?
Yes, as far as like where you can actually turn the rate, like can you once you flip that, do you still have control in a certain range?
Say you have the rate here, and that's like just a right. I don't know if you can hear that, but then when you flip it, it goes from like one right, like almost doubles it. And then I mean, if you turn the rate knob, it's going to change that. But I'm not sure that's exactly what's going on. I mean,
yeah, let's find out.
Yeah, very basic depth and speed, and of course a level. So if you have that like perceived volume drop thing, whatever. Quentin James is in the house. Isn't that what they like him? Something like that. How you doing, Quentin?
If I flip over to the comments and lose you, I'll be right back because I feel like it's a crapshoot between being able to see what people are typing or see you and I.
So let me get back to my camera. So anyway, I think you'll really dig both of those. You know what? I didn't show the other pedal. Let's show the other pedal that we have sitting here. Let's talk about that one.
Okay.
I'm going back to that other camera. And you disappeared again.
Yep. Hold on a sec.
Here's the other one. This is the Kangra. And dude, you haven't. I cannot wait for you to plug into this pedal, Pat.
I've heard a couple videos on it. It's really cool.
The videos don't even do it justice. Like it's just like it's crazy. This is the like I'm in love with this, man, because it's I like. Okay, I love envelope filters. I love the octave up effect. Right, so you have a fuzz in here with the octave up effect. You have an envelope filter, and it's like what? And then if you put, and I was going to say this Earthquakers Devices one. I think I read somewhere where they call it like a percussive or whatever, because it is. It's really percussive. So like it just does crazy stuff. Especially I had it after the Kangra and that one thing I sent you. I was like, what the heck?
Mm-hmm.
But the way this is laid out, like I'm still figuring it out, because the one switch over here is turning your envelope filter on and off. So if you turn the envelope off, then you still have like you can sweep the frequency and you can like plug an envelope a expression pedal into it. Like I don't know. Basically, these three knobs in that switch are your filter. And then the volume is your fuzz. And then you have like this modern and this vintage fuzz, and then this mid-scooped and non-mid scoop switch.
Mm-hmm.
It's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It's insane. It's like everything I love about a pedal that would like, just be all about the craziness. If that makes sense. It's just, if you want something like, I have absolutely zero clue where the current playing situations I'm involved in, how that could ever be used.
Right.
But man, I want to figure it out. It's bizarre. Like I'm so stoked about that one. I can't. And we don't have to wait for a series to do that one. We can pull that one out and play and record it and watch a couple videos out there, because it's weird. But I feel like in a lot of the videos they miss some of the stuff. I don't miss stuff, but like I just feel like there's more. There's just something there that some people maybe didn't get into. Quentin said envelope filters are all kinds of fun. Quentin, I'm totally with you on that. Like, I'd love to do one of our little series or mini series. Secretly hoarding a few of them over here.
Right.
So
there's probably 5 or 6 downstairs there.
I think there's that many. There's that green one from Love Pedal, the Organic Groove, and then there's a Rubber Chicken from Love Pedal, and then there's that Craigslist one I found, the Qtron, and now this one. So
does the Terraform have that in there?
It does. So that would be another one possible. Harley Hex just joined. How's it going? So we got a couple people going on in here now. It's cool. We when we said it earlier, PJ's traveling and we just haven't talked for a couple of days, so we were like, well, let's do this, and then we'll go live with it and see if anybody wants to come and hang out, because I don't know, my wife doesn't want me to go anywhere. We're on self-quarantine here. So life is getting boring.
Well, we our social distancing is more than the 6 required feet. It's about 740 miles. So,
right. My mother's like, you guys might have to stop making videos because you have to get together to do that.
No, I can play the one guitar that's in this house. We can just do that. I'm not sure. It looks pretty, but we could shoot remote. It's made in Korea, so it's going to be great.
So yeah, we're good. Harley said he's good, and Quentin said different pedals, different effects can make you approach guitar in different ways you never think of. Yeah, I mean that's kind of where it's kind of what we've been saying. Like we bought some of those cheap guitars, like the Firefly and the Tajima and stuff, and like I mean it's just cheap guitar, expensive guitar. You put a different guitar in your hands, you play a little bit differently, and it's a lot of fun. Quinn says he has a Michael Kelly Telly. There was a guy near Harrisburg, near Hummelstown, that had a little shop that was selling some of the Michael Kelly stuff for a while. How do you like that?
They're really good-looking guitars. I know that.
Really light too, aren't they? They're supposed to be really light.
I've only played one or two, I think, but it's been a long time.
My friend Tony has a couple of those because he was like hung out at that guy's store all the time. I think he has a couple. I played the 1950s hot rod Telly again today for a part.
Okay.
Quentin says he really likes them, that they stole them in the story manage. Yeah, man, it's big. I hear good things. Sam Ash bought them. Interesting. So you went to see Eric? Wait, who'd you go see?
I did see Eric Johnson.
Eric Johnson.
I saw Eric Johnson the last show before they suspended the tour, apparently. So down here in Atlanta, and they was at a venue holds about 1,000 people, and went with Shane from CR Alsip Guitars, who we featured them on the show, or a couple of their guitars, and did an interview with him. Went and caught that show. It was great. I need to look up the other guitarist's name. He was unbelievable. Of course, if you're touring with Eric Johnson, you kind of have to be. I got to look up his name somehow before we get off this, but he covered, Eric, I've seen Eric Johnson, oh my gosh, half a dozen times, and I've never seen him with another guitarist. But this guy played guitar, electric guitar, acoustic guitar, keys, even played bass on one song, sang a little bit. But yeah, it was a great show. It was a mixture of some old stuff, and he just released another album. Eric Johnson played piano quite a bit in the show. It was really, really good. Yeah, and if for those other people who enjoy YouTube, Rick Beato, if you just saw the Eric Johnson interview, that's when he was here, down here in Atlanta, because that's where Rick Beato is. Rick Beato interviewed Robin Ford and Eric Johnson in the same week.
Wow.
So I don't care if you have 1.5 million subscribers and you've been a music producer. That's a pretty big week for anybody.
Yeah, I would think. Harley says he's really been digging the tones he gets from the new X pedals. Cool trip back to the 70s. Harley, did you get the Rocktory, or did you get a different one? That'd be interesting. So did you get to any guitar stores or anything down there yet?
No, kind of that show. I got here one day, and that show was the next day, and then the world started ratcheting down, and so we were working on plans to fly my son down here. So we kind of got sidetracked. But Shane and I talked about it. We were going to go try to hit like Atlanta Vintage or whatever, but plans changed, so I did not. Other than I do stop in little town Noonan, Brown's Guitar Mill, very small store that shares with vinyl records and skateboards in a cool little old town square. He's a custom builder as well, but I did. So I lied. I stopped in that store for a little bit. But almost bought a DS1 because Shane, who I mentioned earlier, who probably doesn't want me saying this, has created a mod for that pedal, and he almost accidentally became a pedal builder, like every other pedal builder we've interviewed, because he did a mod for that DS1, and he had that at one of the NAMM shows, and everybody kept asking him, "Where are you getting that sound from?" And he's like, "From this," because you can get them for like $25-$30,
right?
But I don't know what the mod. I was trying to entice Shane into modding one. I found one there for $35 in the box. Snapped a picture of it, hoping he'd be like, "Yeah, pick it up. I'll mod it for you." They're too busy trying to build guitars and make a living. But
Harley said he has the Cerebrus, Horseman, and Sculpture. I'm gonna have to look those up.
So the Horseman would probably be the Klon, right?
Probably. And Dan of New Jersey just popped in. He's like, says he hasn't seen us live lately. Yeah, Dan, we haven't been live lately. We were doing that Monday night thing, and it was cool, but it was making us kind of rush. It was making us rush to kind of get stuff done. Like it was, because we had to set everything up to record for content, and then be conscious of how much time we needed to tear that down to set it up to do the live stream. And then we started doing the live stream. That was kind of cool, and it was working for a little bit. And then I think Phil Mosley or whoever started live streaming at the same or a half hour before we were, and we were just kind of like, well, we like this community a lot, and we were like, it doesn't make any sense to be doing it at the same time and throwing out like some trying to compete or whatever. So we were like, well, we'll just back off of Monday night. Saves us the hassle, and we just haven't got around to figuring out when there's another time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Harley said the Horseman is the mini clone.
Okay. So it's like a pony.
So what are the other two? Cerebrus has modulation effects in it, and they're cool. Yeah. Yeah, it what... like this is cool. Like this is kind of easy because we're sitting. We don't have to like get together. It lacks having the guitars or whatever, but doing it on the night where you're recording was kind of it was interesting. Let's put that.
Well, and we did talk about getting back to it and trying to come up with what would make sense, and we recapped some stuff that we were doing, and then honestly, we got into the interview series, and so any time that we kind of had away from Monday night, we were doing that because those are all done the same method we're doing this right now. So we talked about it.
The Sculpture is a compression pedal. He said the Cerebrus is a multi-effects pedal that's modeled after 70s tones, OD, distortion, modulation, delay, reverb, boost. That's cool. Pat can't see the comments and stuff at the same time, so that's why I'm reading everything you guys write to him. It's not that he's illiterate.
Sign language.
Not completely illiterate, anyway. I mean,
no. I can read this. It says sarcasm.
Just one of your better traits.
Yes, it's just one of my many talents.
Oh, many talents.
Yes.
So it says there's 7 people watching now. So if you haven't said hi, make sure you say hi. That's pretty cool. Of course, that scared somebody away, so it's only 6 now.
Who's there? And they ran away.
Right. So what else is new? Anything? Got the tremolo series coming up. What's everybody's favorite tremolo pedal? Anybody have a favorite tremolo pedal? Don't say your 1964 Fender Viralex. Like, we understand that's your favorite tremolo.
Well, it is kind of funny you say that, though, because I was watching Mythos. The guy from Mythos, Zach, was on that pedal show. And the one pedal, the Lark, is based on an old Gibson GT or GT, which is a tremolo, because it has tremolo in it. And so that made me start thinking, well, we did a series on rotary speakers that, not the biggest, it's been a great success, but not the most popular effect right now. And then we're doing a tremolo series that was also something that was found on an amplifier, or a speaker.
And you have one of those amps, right?
I do. Yeah. I got to dig it out. So I think it shocked Brody a couple times, literally, but it's really cool. That Lark pedal that Zach was showing was basically that amp is what they were trying to go after. Because I guess
I take the Leslie down to the tube guy.
Right.
Take the GT too.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick here, Guitar Hack is in the house. Just said hello, and Buckeye Punchy from Ohio is popping in. Hey,
Ohio.
He says he's loving his Keeley El Rey Dorado. Is that Trem? What's the Keeley El Dorado? I have to look. I have to type it in.
Because we got a different Keeley, right? We have the Dynamite Roto for the Leslie series, and then we got
Right. We have the Dynamo Roto. No, we got the Dyna Trem.
Right.
Oh, it's gain pedal, right? Classic British tone. We're digging. I mean, we've gotten 2 pedals from Keeley, and we're digging. I mean, both of them are sweet.
Yeah.
The Dynamite Roto has like the chorus for vibrato and Leslie on it, and sounds great. The Dynatrem reacts to your playing. Hit it hard, it speeds up faster. Hit it soft, it slows down. Or you can make it go with the modulation. Hit it hard, and the modulation gets deeper. Very cool stuff. We're digging.
Yeah, I mean, you can certainly see why people like Josh Scott and others, sort of hold him in high regard. I mean, Robert Keeley, I don't think is that old, but he'd sort of like almost be the godfather of some of this pedal building. So,
right. I mean, I think in almost every interview his name came up. Mm-hmm. Well, a couple of them anyway.
Right.
So what else is going on over here in the chat? I think Dan uses his Boss and Strymon Mobius, the Boss TU2 probably, which we have one of those. We don't have Strymon Mobius, but we have a friend that has one. So it's a lot to get into to borrow somebody's pedal. That'd be a lot to learn for a. I'd really like to get the Strymon. What's the tremolo? It's not the Al Capistan. But they have the tremolo reverb pedal.
I can't think of what it's called.
I'd like to get my hands on that for the series. So what else out there in the chat? What are you excited about? Pedal wise, Buckeye Punchy Big Sky. You that's the Strymon Big Sky reverb. I'd really love to try the Source Audio Collider. I have the Source Audio Nemesis, which is delay. I wanted to get the Ventress, which was reverb, but I don't dive deep enough into the Ventress or the whichever one I have. Collider is both, right? It's a reverb and a delay. I'd love to try that. Not you can't deep dive as deep as you can in the Strymon stuff, but they say the sounds are great. Yeah. Harley said he uses the tremolo in that Cerebus pedal, but it's not as good as his Fender amps. Guitar Hack is considering switching from pedals to a Helix box. I feel like we have to offer him some kind of support. I feel like he's at a pedal AA meeting right now.
Right. Exactly. Although, it's happened to other friends of ours.
Well, SD came over and did that whole episode with his pedal board and his tone, and we were like all like when he left, he's like it was like an old soul and a young guy, and 3 days later he left. So disappointed. It's like when your kid shows up and you find a bag of weed.
You're right. It's like, wait, what happened?
Yeah, Harley said,
but
one of his favorites. Pat's favorite. I'm starting to like it.
But I was going to say that Hack does a lot of gigging, so I mean that would certainly be an easy thing to take out if you get comfortable with dialing up the sounds. Makes your life pretty easy. Which is that's a pretty common reason for people that have gone that route. And some people don't completely shift. They have, a pedal board and that, and depending on what they're doing, if they have fly dates or something, they might take Helix. But
well, they're coming out with that even smaller stomp now, I think. Which is probably what Hack's talking about though. Is that the Pod Go or something like that?
They've almost made it simple enough for me to be able to use one.
Harley said he'd rather use Univibe or a Phaser or a Chorus. I'm with you. But I mean, I was always super. Univibe was my favorite. Leslie has really replaced that. If you have watched it, surprised. Sure, everybody's shocked that I like Leslie. Just looking at easier for gigs. Yeah. Yeah. No, I think you're right, Hack. You need an intervention. I don't know. There's cool stuff there. You know, I mean, even like what's the Kemper that does all the not modeling, profiling, and I mean, there's some cool stuff there, but I just fear if we start getting into that, they're going to take our amps away.
Well, fortunately, in our venue, I'm in control of the they. So,
right. I don't want anybody taking the amps away. That would just be. I don't think I could do it. I can't stand listening to in-ears as it is. I think that makes me a boomer. Not even old enough, but
I would say if you're a boomer, what am I?
You know, all right. So let's. I mean, like the Helix rabbit hole. And I'm gonna get this. Well, we'll do the comment quick. Harley says he has a Leslie Model 760, but it's too freaking big to take out on gigs. And my two twin Weavers are too loud for most people these days. I know. Like, what's going on with that? The Leslie rabbit hole. Like, you see these conversations, especially in the one world that we live in. One of the worlds we live in, you see the conversations about them all the time. And the big argument is you can't tell in front of house if somebody's playing through a Leslie or playing through a Helix or playing through a Kemper. You just can't tell. Their tone is great. And I 100% believe that. What I would like to experience is whether the tone is the same when you play. Because I mean, I'm not the best player in the world. I know that, but like I can tell when I'm playing through a solid state amp or a tube amp by the way it reacts to your fingers, the way it reacts to your volume knob, reacts to your fingers, reacts to what you put in front of it. And I just find it hard to believe that tube thing happens with that. And I could be totally wrong. I mean, yeah, Hack said his amps aren't going anywhere. Well, Hack, are you planning on running direct with the Line 6, or are you just going to use that for the effects into the amp? I'll tell you, the one pedal that has my attention is that 89 by Eventide.
Oh, yeah.
Like everybody has that on their board.
Yeah, I saw I saw
Josh Smith.
Josh Scott had it, and then also when I saw Gordon Kennedy play down in Nashville, he had one on his board where he had like a Klon and other things, but I think it covered a lot of his modulation. And
well, yeah, okay. So Josh Scott had it. Josh Smith had it. That rig rundown you sent me of Josh Smith, he had it on there.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I think Bob Weir has like 3 or 4 of them on his rig.
Yeah, a lot of. Well, it was funny on the Josh Scott video. You know, he was there with Paul Gilbert. Okay, Paul, you're the producer. What effect do you want me to dial up? And he put tremolo. I'm like, sweet. But that's kind of what Josh Smith was saying. Well, like I'm in a studio gig, and those sounds of those particular modulations and other things are so great that I could just dial it up and bring the boxes this big. So I think they're about $500 or something.
They're pretty expensive.
Yeah.
I don't think we're talking them into sending this one.
Try. Get the magic keystroke over there.
So, Hack, using it straight in front of the amp, would you take just that, or would you take like your drive pedals and? Because I guess I'm trying to figure out. Well, I guess it gives you the versatility to have more. Because Hack plays correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I remember from the interview and stuff and from watching your channel, you play in a band that plays a lot of different stuff. So maybe having something like that to cover, like if you can't put a chorus, a univibe, a Leslie, a tremolo, like 8 different phaser, if you get that all in one pedal. Of course, I would maybe suggest the Terraform by Wampler too. That's a sweet pedal if you're just looking for modulation.
Yeah, I think Hack is using those Marshall amps as well.
Yeah, the DSL, he just put, well, Buckeye Punchy's also using the DSL 40C, which he's using. Buckeye was talking about using the Strymon Deco and the Strymon Blue Sky. Do you remember what the tremolo reverb is, Bucky? Let's see. Harley, when he acquired the last pieces. He'll make, all right, cool. So you're gonna make a video of all the next pedals, the new X pedals. Cool. Well, it's recorded. You know, when they sent us the Rocktree pedal, they sent us that little mini studio pedal, which is pretty cool. I want to go back and look at putting something in front of that too. So if I hit that, I'm going out. All right, Harley, I'm looking forward to that video. I just subscribed to your channel. I just checked to make sure see if I wasn't. So we subscribed to your channel, so hopefully we can catch that when it comes out.
Oh. Sorry, I have like 120-pound Great Dane that wanted to be where my camera was, and it's hard to tell her no.
The dog's gonna be jealous when you get home.
I know. Yeah. She's a brunette. Your dog's a blonde. She'll understand. I don't know that her name is JoJo. I don't know if she ever heard anybody play guitar before, because when I started playing that guitar that's here at my friend's house, she got all curious. And the hilarious thing that happened is she got near the strings and created a harmonic on one of the strings because it touched her nose right in the right spot. She was rocking. Go into a whole pet segue.
Yeah. Right. We could get Zelda and bring her done.
That's right.
She'd probably get more views.
Exactly. We decided if Zelda started an Instagram page, she'd have more followers than us.
Harley said that when he does it, he's going to use that solid. Okay, so was that you? Because I was thinking about that comment, Harley. Maybe that was you that left. I don't think I had a chance to respond to that yet on that video. But no, if that was you, those were great suggestions. He's going to do it with the Solid Studio. So we have that mini studio, Pat. The Solid Studio is like a bigger one, and it has the amp simulations in it. So like ours is just the speaker simulations.
Right. Yeah, no, I saw that comment too.
Yeah, we need to figure out. I'd like to figure out if we can find a pedal to put in front of that.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually wondering if those like cheap American that everybody's using, they have these $12,000 pedal boards, and they put that American Sound pedal in front of it. I was actually wondering if that would be any good.
Well, we have that Behringer pedal.
Right.
So
well, that one,
because that's more like the amps, right? And then the new X is like the speakers.
Yeah.
But no, that was a Joyo. Well, the Joyo makes one too, I think.
Is Joyo that makes the American Sound?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's
they make the British one, the American one, right? They make a few of them.
Yeah, so you got guys with $1,200, like you were saying, $1,200 worth of Strymon pedals on there running through. The last stop is through like a $40 Joyo pedal.
Right. But yeah, I mean, if it sounds good, it sounds good. I mean, there's
right.
We're not.
It's just the irony of it.
Right. We're not pedal snobs. We're not gonna.
No, you could show the shelf.
Right.
Our pedal shelf does not look like the bread and toilet paper aisles at the store, so that's good.
Although listen, they're more expensive than some of the pedals over there, but
I was just trying to think in this whole COVID-19 situation, if there's a shortage of pedals, we can all blame Josh Scott because we've seen what's on his shelves, so it's all his fault. He's got them all.
He does. Should I show this? These guys, I don't think most of these guys were here when we popped this up earlier. Just for fun. I mean, for a second, we'll pop them back. That's the new stuff. Some of the new stuff that's coming in for the next year. 2 for the next series. So this one is the Monument by Wallace, which is very cool. And then also for the Tremolo series is this Hummingbird pedal from Earthquaker Devices. And so, if it says Earthquaker Devices on it, there's something just going to be not slightly right about it.
Right.
And then speaking of not slightly right, if you guys haven't seen this, hopefully we'll have that video out soon. This is the Kangra. They're hitting all cylinders for me. As you got an envelope filter, you got a fuzz with an octave up, and I'm not a big fuzz guy, but anything octave I like. Fuzz with an octave up and and an envelope filter, and you can turn the envelope off, and then you just have like this frequency sweep that you can do with it, and like doesn't look like there would be, but there's a lot of really wacky stuff going on in there, and I can't wait to plug that in with Pat over here and try and figure something out. I'm sure it will be obnoxious,
but way more usable than the MXR Blue Box, which was one of our most adventurous videos.
Still one of my favorite videos of all time. Early video, but still one of my favorite videos of all time that we did. Spark. Buckeye has the Spark amp pre. Okay. Harley, I don't think you can post the link. I don't think the links will show up in the chat, but if you want to send that, even just go over to if you type PJ and the Beard in Facebook, you can like send us a direct message over there with that link. I'd love to check it out.
That's true. You can bring it up on the other screen.
Because we're not. That's not our wheelhouse. I don't know that anything's our wheelhouse, but that
no.
Yeah,
but there was a time that we wished it was when David Barber came over and would have loved to have played direct, and we're just like, we don't want to send his pedals direct and be responsible for people's opinion of that pedal being through our ineptitude of doing that. But
I mean, we knew that we weren't doing the Studio Mini the perfectly right way.
Right. If we'd had a Strymon Iridium, I think he would have traded us straight up for anything he brought with him.
How about email, man? You could do pjandthebeardguitars@gmail.com.
That's my foot, dog. Oh, gosh.
Well, he's waiting for you to move that guitar so he can get up.
There she goes. There she is right there. Holy cow, man. You got 100+ pound dog with paws the size of a bear step on your foot when you got slides on. It is not fun.
Well, thanks, Harley. It was a total experiment, you know?
1 second. Come here.
It was a total experiment. We didn't really have too much of an idea, but it was kind of like, it was the fun of it, I think. What do you do if you don't know? So, what else? Anything else new going on out there in Facebook land or YouTube land? I have the local Facebook marketplace up. If nobody jumps in, we're going to scroll through that and see if we can find anything fun.
Sorry, part of my South Atlanta accommodations are in exchange for taking care of said beast, and I think she was trying to tell me she had to go out. So
there you go.
We keep it real here.
So Buckeye just got a Harley Benton HB35, and he's very disappointed. Not what the review said it would be.
And the 35 is the hollow body, or what is the 35?
Yeah, what's the HB35? Is that hollow body 35? Is that like a dog? Is that like 35?
This is like a horse.
She's a tall girl.
Yeah, she's big. Just tall drink of water. Can you sit down? Can you show how nice you are? You can lean. Oh my lord.
You're just a guest, man. It's her house. Like,
Right.
it's a semi-acoustic.
Okay.
I don't know. We got that Harley Benton. We got the. Where is it? Should I grab it?
Sure. Look, say hi. Look. Don't say hi. Say hi to them.
Here, we'll give her full screen.
That's right. I feel like we're Henning right now, showing animals on our show. Here. Are you getting shy all of a sudden? Now there's a good side. All right, there we go. Now she's settled back down, so we're good.
All right. This is the one we got. So it's a Harley Benton double cut in wonderful Heinz spicy brown mustard. It actually kind of looks a little TV yellow on the screen there, doesn't it?
Which is funny. They made the TV yellow because the whites kind of disappeared. So now the spicy brown mustard on camera looks like TV yellow. Maybe that's what they're going for.
Yeah, it was more about how it looked on camera.
Mm-hmm.
But it's probably way out there. But it's a nice guitar.
It got pretty high marks right out of the box from our Chris Delaporte from Woodshed. He did a few. I think he did very minor things to that one, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
it's amazing. On our channel, probably top 5 videos are all about inexpensive guitars, and that one, the Harley Benton, probably got the best marks actually between the Tajima and the Firefly, and that one, I think, from Chris at least. His first experience with them.
Yeah, I was really impressed with it. I've played it live a couple of times. That would have been a good one for that song.
Yeah, right.
I tried to throw that little in over top of it today. But...
Mm-hmm. If you can play "Sweet Home Alabama" at a church song, you've done something. And at our church, people probably light lighters. So. Out of habit.
Yeah, Harley. Like that's Paul Jr. basically, right?
Yeah.
Cut Jr. 180 with like the $30 shipping on it.
Yeah, I think you had like 185 into it between the conversion of the money and the shipping.
I mean, the trick would be to find 2 other guys that want to get a Harley Benton, because you can order, I think, 3 guitars for
35, right?
$30.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear you're disappointed in that, because we're always curious, right? We've only done one round of the inexpensive guitars, and certainly we've seen plenty of other people like Ryan Burke and others do them. And Josh Scott played one in his 3-rig rundown, or 3-rig tiers, and
well, he played a Firefly hollow body there. Josh Scott did, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I've seen some acoustic guitars being like some of the Harley Benton acoustics reviewed, and they've gotten good marks too. So that's a shame.
Yeah, I think because of Henning being over there in Europe, he's done a whole bunch of them, the Harley Bentons, and I've seen the acoustics on his show. They sound pretty good.
What didn't you like? Yeah, I was just checking the neck. I mean, there's still no fret spout on it, really. Although, didn't David Barber pick it up and say there was?
I don't remember. Maybe, or did he comment that there wasn't? I don't remember.
His fret spout. Maybe it was the Takima he was playing.
Yeah.
Hack said he just did an Epiphone versus Gibson Les Paul special comparison video.
I didn't get to watch that yet, but I saw it pop up.
Yeah, I think so too. Which one did you like better, Hack?
Which one are you going to take to the bars and clubs where they want to come dance on stage with you?
Well, that's like we did that Firefly versus the SE PRS soap bar.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked the Firefly better, and everybody thought we were high. I said, watch the video.
Okay. That's right. I like it. A little mystery.
Guitar feels like a toy, too much poly finish. Yeah, I mean, there's some. This isn't a high end finish on this either. But yeah, I like the pickups. The Harley Benn had the Firefly has a really fat neck on it, and I thought the pickups sounded better than the pickups in the PRS. To me, I mean, I like them better. I think you like the PRS pickups better, didn't you?
I think so, if I remember right.
The PRS is real bright. It's real bright.
But like you said, we're both PRS players, and the neck and everything just felt really natural to us. Whoops, I'll quickly here.
Yeah. I already said he bought a few made in Korea Fender guitars so he could leave his vintage and USA guitars at home. Nah, I'm like Joe Bonamassa, man. I take all my 50s, Les Paul 58 Les Paul gold tops or bursts out. I take all my original bursts out with me everywhere I go.
Get them their own seat on the plane.
Yeah, I guess it depends on where you're playing. I played some clubs in the past where I took the cheap stuff too. So, Hack takes his Gibsons out at the gig. So is the PRS Hack still a beater guitar, or is that moved? You like it a little bit more than that? Or have you sold it already? I know you haven't. I don't think you sold it. I missed that if you did. Yeah, if I had a 1964 Strat, I don't know if I'd take it out to a bar either.
Well, it was funny watching them pack up the bus at the Eric Johnson tour the other night. They clearly put all the amps and everything in the back of the trailer, and then they were passing all the guitars through the bus window in the back. They're putting all the guitars on the bus. Right. Although I don't know that he tours with anything really vintage anymore. He used to tour with his 54 Strat, but since they did the custom one for him.
Well, did he just have like a hollow body one last year? And this year he's back to like a solid body. He just has a new one out this year, right?
Yeah, he's got two signature models. One, an older one that was just a solid body, and then he had the hollow body that came out a couple years ago, and then he's got several versions of the solid body one.
Hack said he swapped the pickups in his SE. It sounds way better. I believe that. I really think if I took the pot out of that soap bar PRS, and I think it has a 250. I think it comes stock with a 250K pot, volume pot. I really feel like if I took that out and put a 500K, and it would really open the guitar up, and I would probably like it a little bit better. It's just a matter of doing it. So, I don't know. Anyway, what else? Anything else?
I don't know. You mentioned that we're kind of modulating. You've been teasing on Instagram about modulating into another series, and you did show the Hummingbird, and so we did Jason's kind of favorite pedal, which I've always liked that Leslie sound. It's really grown on me. And then I think you threw me a bone, and we're going into the tremolo world because I have my Cesar Diaz tremolo that I really like a lot. So we're kind of like, we keep joking that we're going to try to keep it under 25 pedals because the Leslie one got out of control pretty fast, but I don't know how we're doing so far. I think we have a dozen already, probably.
Well, I think we started the series opener for the Leslie was 23 pedals,
right? Of
which 5 have not been released. All 4 of the 5 videos are done. I have one more to cut up. I was saving it for quarantine time.
Right.
Then we have I think right now we're up to about 20.
Wait, what?
I think we're under 23, but
Jojo, what do you think of that? 23. What do you think of that?
so what kind of Harley said? What kind of vintage tone pickups are you guys looking for humbuckers / single coils? Yeah, I think both of us have kind of always just went with the pickups that are in the guitars.
Yeah, I think. I mean, you've changed like that one Gibson put in the.
Les Paul, I put
Yeah.
Thornbuckers in.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I have never swapped guitars. I mean, I have that Skylark amp that we mentioned earlier. I have my grandfather's kind of SG that goes with that, so it's got original P90, a single P90 in it. So I would never change that. I like different. All my PRS guitars have different pickups in it, so I've never changed that. The only pickup I changed was in an Ibanez Les Paul style guitar at the time. I put PRS Dragon pickups in it. But I mean, I do like the PAF kind of sound. Like my friend Brody, who we have an episode about his collector's choice guitars, and that '59 Les Paul that he has that has more of the PAF in there. It's magic. It's really, really good. So if I were going for a vintage one, I mean, I know that's pretty much who wouldn't, but that's a really great sound on those little bit of lower output pickup.
And I think the McCarty pickups are in my PRS are kind of modeled after that a little bit, that lower output. And so my McCarty has McCarty pickups in it. The hollow body McCarty has McCarty pickups in it, and the Swamp Ash has McCarty pickups in. And all three guitars were built in 2000 or 2001. And so,
yeah,
I mean, I know people get down on those PRS pickups sometimes, but I love that pickup for some reason. Is it Lambertone that everybody's raving about right now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Cremas and others pickups. Yep.
Lambertone pickups people are really raving about right now, but I think fairly expensive. And what's the other one? Is Crema a different?
I think that's one of the models of a Lambertone.
Okay. And then there's another company people really. But yeah, check out Lambertone pickups. I would check those out. Just because I mean, like, it's like there's a whole news group devoted like that every time somebody mentions pickup, they're Lambertones. I asked on the PRS forum, I said, look, I love the McCarty pickups. I want a low output pickup, kind of like the McCarty pickup for this Les Paul, and they recommended the Thornbuckers. So that's how I got stuck, got turned on to them.
And I don't know if you said it before, that was what, a Les Paul Classic, right? That you switched out.
Yeah.
Yeah. We haven't delved much into the pickup world, but we are 1 degree separation from a couple of the major pickup companies that we haven't really gone for that yet, because we're just trying to formulate a plan of what we would do if we did. And maybe one would be that Harley Benton that Jason held up earlier. Yeah. Get a nice P90 and put that in there, because that's a dog-eared P90 that you can't really raise up to get the pickup height higher in that particular guitar.
We haven't really got. What do they have? That little plate you put underneath them or something?
Like a little shim or something, yeah.
Yeah, that's Harley. There's so many choices out there. That's where I get. It's kind of like that in speakers. Like, is that a rabbit hole? Is that a rabbit hole you want to jump down? You'll be changing speakers in your amps every week, changing pickups in your guitars every week. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I basically, I'm not a mod guy, and I don't know that you are either. So, we're not the best guys to really talk about that. I mean, I have Mesa. What I like to do is I have several PRSs. They'll have different pickups. I have several Mesa cabinets. They have mostly different speakers in them, but they're the stock speaker that came in that particular cabinet. So I'm not really one that swapped out, although, a good friend of ours had a PV Classic 30 and he put a Vintage 30 in there. I can only imagine it would have made it better, because I love PV Classic 30 combos and I love Vintage 30 speakers. So I just have never done that to mine, but that's my favorite speaker is a Vintage 30. So.
I think that's what is in that hot rod we use.
Okay.
I think it has a vintage 30 in it. Good sound. Yeah. Let's check out Sheptone too. Guitar Hack recommended Sheptone. I think I've heard that name.
I think that might be what Dan Pratt got was for that Tajima that he brought over the Strat style one.
Okay.
He swapped out the pickup since we had that on the show, and that sounds familiar. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe more in the future. I mean, it's a case of I'm not handy with a soldering iron, partly by design, but I don't know. It's something that certainly we have a broad array of guitars and body styles and price points that if we did get into that.
Right. I mean, the P90s in that Soap Bar PRS. I mean, one of the reasons I went for that guitar is because everybody said they were so good, and I wanted to try P90s, and I've never. I think I took it to a live situation one time and was like, oh no, not doing this. And part of me wonders if you change that pot, open it up a little bit, put the 500K pot in it, open it up a little bit. Or what if I put some different P90s in it? And then the other part of me is like, you know what? I'm going to sell it.
What if I just get another guitar?
I've never sold a guitar because I'm always like, if I sell a guitar, I don't want to be that old guy at the Blues Jam that's like talking about the whatever he had back when. So I've always kept every guitar, but
the good thing is it's a McCarty SE. I mean, it's a PRS SE, so you weren't like,
right.
Here's
the plan. Here's the thought. I sell the PRS SE, the Soap Bar. I sell the 339 Epiphone. I sell some of these Leslie pedals. And we get for the show a B&G Little Sister, one of the Crossroad Little Sister guitars. Have you guys seen the B&G guitars? Has anybody looked at those? Hey, Sean Zimmerman. I didn't know if I caught you were in here before, Sean, so welcome. He says the 500K part would darken the sign, kind of smooth out the highs. Yeah, I think it would. I know I raised the pot value in another guitar with similar success. So I think you're right. I think it would probably make me like it a little bit better. So what was the B&G. Has anybody seen these? Anybody looked at these? I'm going to share that page. I think we're running out of time here, but I'm going to share this page with you real quick.
Now, where did you first see these? Because you've told me about this and hatched that plan.
They've popped up online quite a few times. I'm not sure where I first got, but I just, from the first time, it was one of those ones, like from the first time I saw it, I was like, man, I really dig that guitar. So here they are. So you have cutaway or non-cutaway, slotted headstock up here, P90 or humbucker. That's the standard model, which is $149. So that's their made in Indonesia model at $14.99. The private builds start around $37, and they're made in Israel actually. But man, some of them are just. Some of them I think are gorgeous. Like, and I really dig that just real vintage, right? The real
you don't see a slotted headstock on electrics very often.
No. So, and this is kind of new. I hadn't Why is that going so fast? I hadn't seen them doing the colors too much, but they just started doing some of these colors. But have a really, watch some of their videos they put out. They have a great sound. They just, I don't know, there's something. Maybe it's just me because it's totally. The slotted headstock would be a pain in the butt to change the strings. The non-cutaway version, which I actually really like, the non-cutaway version, would be hard to get up past that 12 fret very far. Man, there's something about them that I just think they look cool.
So go buy our new Tremolo t-shirt so we can buy a B&G.
Yes.
I don't even have one yet. I was looking at them on. We order our own shirts through the same way that you would, and I was looking at that today. I almost hit order. I've just got sidetracked.
Right. We can give you the same 25% discount we use too if you want it.
That's right. You can be just as special as us.
Let's see. It's a good one. What do we got here? All right. So recommending Hack's channel. Yeah, both Guitar Hack and the Hack Shack. Get on both and subscribe to both of those.
I have a Hack shirt.
And buy his t-shirt as well. The Guitar Hack t-shirt. He, it's funny because a lot of times I get home from work and I'm sitting down to relax and I'll pull up Facebook and there's Hack, or pull up my phone and there's Hack smoking a cigar in the Hack Shack. So I try and pop in and hang out with you. Bobby Lopez just joined. Hello, Bobby.
I feel like I'm watching the Hack Shack like he should be ice fishing in there or something.
Right.
Like cut a hole in the bottom and.
It would be better. It would be better if you were sitting there with a cigar in one hand and the ice rod in the other hand.
Be fantastic.
He looks too warm. He's all bundled up, but he looks too warm.
We should put that on our bucket list to go to the Hack Shack and go ice fishing in the imaginary ice hole. I think I just called him an ice hole. Sorry, that was an accident. Yeah, Hack, man, we'll never forget you inviting us to come on to your show. That was a great experience and really generous of you. And it's fun to kind of sit in and watch you more often, and got to go watch the episode about the Epi versus the Gibson.
Yeah, is there anybody else in here with channels that we should know about? God, I got 7 people watching now. So, Hack smokes cigars with more people than that on a Thursday afternoon.
That's right. I just had a friend who was in Japan, and he was smoking all kinds of Cubans. They're like Marlboros over there.
A Hack is probably smoking Cubans up there. Every year we go up to open the cottage, there's a guy that has the cottage right near us. When he goes up to open, I think the first thing they do is go out and get a bunch of Cuban cigars. He takes a video projector up and they sit out in the back, project a movie up on the side of the cabin, and they smoke Cuban cigars all night.
If you don't smoke them very often, their initial hit on you feels a little bit different than just a cigar. So, but I guess when you're Canadian, you probably have built up a tolerance.
So.
Yeah, anybody who wants to go to the store, you can give them the secret double handshake.
Yeah, just don't even remember. I'll look and see if I can figure out what it is. I can turn the B&G guitar off. Nobody said a word about those. Nobody's digging the B&G guitars. See, I dig that guitar. I think there's something cool about it. I did order the Tremolo shirt.
Okay. You're one step ahead of me.
But it's not here yet.
Well, you would have the first one.
Let's see. I think, if I remember correctly, is it the dog?
I believe so.
Yeah.
And if it's not, Merry Christmas.
It's the dog. So, if anybody is even remotely interested, I'll put it in the chat. I think I can post a comment, right? Or
you're the boss. This is my $5 Walmart shirt. So,
That is the store, if you care. And then, was it lowercase? My dog's name is Zelda. And I think Zelda's the 25% discount from that.
Yeah, I think it was all lowercase, yeah.
And that's actually pretty cool because it's my brother and his wife opened a Big Frog out in Michigan, which has been, I think, a hard road to toe. But so it's a small independently owned shop. I mean, it's a franchise, but
yeah. So we don't make a ton, but it helps his brother, and we don't have to touch anything. We don't have to order anything. We don't have to ship anything. We save that for our Reverb store when we're shipping pedals. That's right. If you like the Leslie series, check the Reverb store.
It's coming. It's about to any day now. There's about to be a whole bunch. And now that I have 2 weeks off of school, since our school is canceled for the next 2 weeks and probably beyond, I think I might actually get some time to list all those.
It's not like we're getting rich. We just turn around and buy tremolo pedals with them, or pay ourselves back for the tremolo pedals we already bought.
Oh, Hack just mentioned his show with Jack the Rabbit. I was down here and it was like starting in 15 minutes. I'm like, I'm going to go pick up a guitar and play with those pedals until they start. And I missed like almost the whole show because I just got that freaking Kangra pedal, man. It just totally sucked me in. Yeah. So, seriously, no love for the little sister.
Nope.
Oh well. I'm gonna like our video, so it has 4 likes.
Nice.
Oh, now it has 5.
Sweet. I'm gonna play this Ovation copy because, like I said, if you're down to copying Ovations, although it's not quite the bowl as the Ovation, you can see there are more graduated side. Morgan Monroe, made in Korea. But isn't this great? Like a lot of you guys, I'm assuming, are roughly our age. You could not get something that looked like that before. That wasn't real. You know, everything that was copied was crap at first. But I think the strings are all designed, but.
You can hear those dead strings even through the compression, even through the compression on YouTube.
They're elixirs, bro. Yeah, they feel like I'm going to get tetanus. I mean, if I don't get COVID-19, I'm definitely going to get tetanus from this thing.
Harley asked how it feels compared to the original Ovations. He says the Ovations always felt really hard to him.
I'll tell you what, like if this did have new strings on it, this action is like super low. I mean, it plays really nicely. I mean, except the strings are just terrible. It's my wife's friends, and I don't know when the last time she played, but we're crashing at their house and watching The Beast that you've seen on the show, and I saw this in one of the rooms and busted it out. But yeah, if she had other strings here, I'd slap them on. The action is great, like, and it has electronics. I don't know. There was a 12 string up there too.
Guitar.
I know, right? Like that's what I'm saying. Like at that finish. Photoshop books matched top. There was a 12 string up there, but I wasn't that adventurous, so I can only imagine what conditions those strings are in.
Hey, thanks, Bobby, for hitting the like button. Appreciate that. For whatever that's worth.
I'm going to ask a really question out of left field. We've been doing the pedal interview series, and we've been really blown away by who we've been able to interview. So it was Brian Wampler, Josh Scott, Dave Sestino from DLS, Rick Matthews, Drew Swindle, and David Barber. So we're looking to do more. Who would you want to see us try to go land? Because that guy over there is really crafty with his words, and people foolishly say yes to us.
That's
because
funny.
we're kind of on a roll with that, and it's kind of a snowball effect. So we're just kind of thinking,
It's all Josh Scott. Once
yeah,
we got Josh on the show, it was, you know.
yeah. I was in a live chat or a live stream last night with Zach from Mythos Pedals, who just came back from England. If you watched that pedal show on Friday or whenever it was, he was just featured on there, and he was talking about Josh Scott and how great it was, and how helpful he's been, and that's somebody that, like, we don't have any of Zach's pedals, but that's somebody he's an interesting guy. I just kind of threw that one out there. Just Jason's hearing that for the first time, but
Yeah, well, I mean, I'd like to get a hold of that tremolo. I did say something. Hampstead is sending us a tremolo, and yeah, I mean, we bought it from them, but I mean, they're sending. I mean, they helped us out, helped us get it because they're really hard to get right now. And he said something about talking to us about like some of the hidden features or something. I was like, hey, well, maybe we could do that online.
That's right.
Be part of the interview series. Hack said Robert Keeley, and yeah, Hack. I mean, we've obviously.
Yep.
I'm not sure why we haven't reached out to him yet because we
keep talking about it. It's like it's. I don't know. He's an obvious choice, and he's one that we should. I don't know if we have a little bit of fear on that one or not, but who knows?
We have two of his pedals. So, like, some of the guys, like David Barber, we knew his stuff. Well, I knew one of his pedals anyway.
David Barber foolishly came to the studio. Two guys he didn't know. But so Zach, and I can't think of his last name. He also was at Anderton. So if you happen to see the pedal show, he's also going to be featured on the Anderton's video coming up. So he might be hard to get a hold of because he's going to have to build pedals because he is the only one. He builds his pedals all by himself. Well, his wife helps. He doesn't have like his, Nick like Josh does and two other employees like David Barber has. So anyway.
The Mythos guy. The Mythos guy.
Yeah.
And after being on that pedal show, he's probably sold a bunch of pedals.
Yep. I think the pre-order is out there for that tremolo. I didn't do that yet, but
Hack said that he's reaching out to a couple pedal guys. He's only heard back from Brian Rompler so far. Brian's a nice guy, great guy to interview. Like, he seems a little weird, like we weren't sure how he was gonna be, and just what an awesome dude, man. Like, totally cool guy to hang out with, and
so easy to talk to. Like, he comes across a little different on some of his own stuff, but yeah, oh my gosh, he was great.
Lawrence Petros. I did talk to Lawrence Petros, but he was really busy out doing something, and he said maybe later. When I reached out to him, he didn't have the time. Jamie Stillman at Earthquaker. Yeah, that's another one we talked about. There's a guy that, come on, like they have a huge pedal line. We have the Dispatch Master and we have the Hummingbird now. And I just don't know that we're ready to reach out to him and be like, come talk to us about your crazy pedals when we don't know.
Well, and he's a big personality too. Like, that's part of what we've talked about too. We've seen him on panel discussions before. He's an interesting cat, for lack of a better term. And
yeah,
we want to make sure that we can get that fish into the boat.
Well, and the thing, I mean, with Brian Wampler, the thing was, like, here's a guy that has been doing it forever.
Yep.
I mean, really one of the original guys, and there's nothing out there about him. So that was a really interesting one. I mean, honestly, Josh Scott has 80,000, 200,000, whatever it is now, subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
And in 3 to 4 days, 5 days, the Barber Electronics video got more views than the Josh Scott video got.
Right.
I mean, blew up because
it's almost like David Barber's in the Witness Relocation Program. Everybody knows who he is, but no one's ever seen him.
Right. So I was actually thinking of like Cusack too, because he does Cusack and does Mojo hand pedals.
Yep.
And they just bought all those parts. He'd be an interesting guy. And they just put out that new pedal. So
yeah, so we just thought we'd expand on that series. It's been great. People have been really receptive, and we do it in this format currently, except just not live. But yeah. So Petros, Earthquaker Devices, Keeley. Anybody else pop up on that list?
Jamie Stillman from Earthquaker. Harley said that he knows that we must like the Hummingbird. It's a cross between a tremolo and an old Vox repeater. So, like, honestly, I'm not familiar with the old Vox repeater, but I'll tell you what, I plugged this Hummingbird in, and it's fantastic. It's I don't even know why. We'll get into it later. We'll record it, but there's something about it, like, because part of me is like, there's no tap tempo there. There's an expression pedal port, I guess. But so I don't know. Maybe you can do tap. I don't know if you can do tap with that or not. I'll have to. Yeah, we gotta do some research yet. But it's fantastic. There's something crazy about that one.
Meanwhile, back in Atlanta, the only piece of gear I have access to.
We do got to wrap this up. I'll show you the craziest. Yeah. I don't know if it's the craziest tremolo that we have in for the series, but we have a bunch of other ones in. There's one that we're supposed to get in that's really crazy, and I don't know what's going on with the guy. I won't say the name of the company, but he's like, yes, let's do this. I'll send you an invoice. A week goes by, no invoice. Email him, nothing. Email him one more time. Oh, it's on my list. I'll have it done by today. It's 4 days later. Still, so I don't know what's going on with that one.
Meanwhile, the one pedal we got before you got the invoice.
So yeah. So give me 1 second.
Here, let me. For those of you who've been watching the Leslie series. But there's more. Here's Johnny.
All right. Before we go, what's coming up in this tremolo series? Putting on the dust camera. All right. We mentioned this one earlier today, either in here or another chat. It was in here. That is the Keeley Dynatrem. Looks like an old amp. And you have a dynamic rate, dynamic depth, or harmonic trem. So if you have it up in rate, the rate's dynamic to your playing. If you have it in depth, the depth is dynamic. Pretty cool, interesting, like little thing going on there. That one's cool. This one just looks cool. Right? So that is the Jam.
Yeah.
Big Chill. You have a speed 1 and a speed 2. You can flip back and forth. You can engage it, flip back and forth between speed 1 and speed 2. A couple different waveforms, and then a chop button right here. You turn that on, it chops. You have an expression jack for speed 2 or an expression jack for the depth. Yeah, we lost your picture. But this...
Did I lose you?
Yeah, you're there. We lost your picture for a second. This... Harley said, if you listen to The Who, you'll hear the Vox repeater was used on the intro to Bob O'Reilly. Yeah, and they kind of do that in the one demo, so I know exactly what you're talking about. Check this pedal out. This is the Cusack Tap-A-Whirl. First analog tremolo pedal with a tap tempo. Tap tempo over here. So watch this. This is the option knob. Wait, this is the wave. So here's the wave knob. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And a 3-way toggle. There are 24 different waveforms built into this pedal. And I forget what the option knob does, but there's 8 knobs over there too. I can't remember what that does off the top of my head. There's 24 different waveforms in this pedal, and they are magical.
Yeah.
they're,
Yep.
they're magical. This is so far beyond just the realm of what tremolo is. This is like taking you into like whole new, like really bizarre world. So
yeah, that's the pedal that'll go like a series in its own.
right. And then has that weird RCA jack on the back for the tap tempo, which we're gonna have to figure out what that is and how that works.
I was hoping that it would have projected a video image of the sound that it was projecting. It would have been very psychedelic. Because it's a yellow one, like you would plug in your old school like VHS and DVD players.
Well, and then there's a live and a preset switch here, and it says save pre-switch if you hit them both, so we haven't even got into that.
Maybe that's the live stream. Go through that pedal.
I can't remember what option does. That's really bizarre, but yeah, there's so much going on in that. Then there's a couple other cool ones coming. So anyway, it looks like the chat has slowed down.
Yep.
And I think we've slowed down.
Yes. The dog's asleep.
So when's your wife get off work?
She was part of the reason you may have disappeared. She's on her way home now.
Oh.
She worked an extra shift today. She worked a little overtime, so she worked 3 to 11.
Gotcha. All right. Well, then I think we should call this.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we'll just keep doing this as we're all, experiencing various forms of self-quarantine and otherwise, and everybody needs a little gear fix and a little distraction.
So, I mean, if they thought we bored them with Leslie pedals, you just haven't seen nothing yet.
That's right. Wait till we start talking about pedals we know less about than Leslie pedals.
All right. Well, if you're still hanging around, social distancing, right?
That's right.
So, all of those of you that jumped in and were chatting with us, we're noobs. We don't know this whole lives. We did it for a little bit, but I don't think we ever got good at it.
Right.
We've watched the masters. You got your guitar hack and fellows that know how to take these streams and make them go somewhere. But we do appreciate you jumping in and hanging out. New content, 5 more Leslie videos. Well, 5 more Leslie pedal videos, and then some other stuff.
Right.
Barber Electronics Game Changer should be out this week. Sometime this week.
Yeah, and more to come from him, too, between what you have on the editing floor and also perhaps a field trip.
Mike Morrison, who we did an interview with, or we went over to his place. There's a couple videos on a guy named Mike Morrison, expressed interest in looking at the tone press. And I was like, well, why don't you just come over and we'll record a video? So we'll see.
That's right. Yes.
We need to look into the Fender pinwheel. It's one of the first ones we did. So that's out there. There's a video on the channel about the pinwheel.
And we have another one coming from Fender as well. So
right, that's another one in the tremolo. That's kind of kicked off the tremolo because they put out that tube one, and we tapped that well again.
They said yes. They said now we have to produce them first. Please wait. We've been listening to Muzak from Fender for a while now. Kenny G as a clarinet.
Right. So yeah, Harley, that pinwheel, that's a sweet pedal.
Mm-hmm.
One of the early ones we did in the Leslie series. We've tried to hit just about, the goal was to hit everything on the new and used market. I think we're about 85 to 90% of the way there. Yeah. Except for some of the really bizarre, there's some like really, really bizarre stuff, but that one's definitely been done.
All right.
All right. I think with that.
All right. I guess I'll just sign it off, right? I mean, I'm PJ on behalf of I never know which way to point. The other way. That way. PJ on behalf of that guy who I'm not touching, reminding you no matter what you hear, you never have too much gear. Like your mama said, wash your hands.
Wash your hands. Sing happy birthday twice.
That's right.
Right.
All right. Peace out, people.
All right.
All right. Well, my wife tried to call me. She's driving.